Now is the time to buy the dip. This is a generational wealth building opportunity right now. If you don't buy the dip today, you will be regretting it for the rest of your life. That's probably what you've heard so many other people on YouTube saying, and it is getting absolutely out of control with so many people saying this is the time to buy. And you and I both know that's not the case. Now, I'll show you why I think now is the absolute worst time to be buying and how you'll know exactly when. And I'm telling you exactly when to know when that dip is done. Because if you're buying it right now, it's like jumping off a cliff. And you're probably a lot smarter than that, a lot smarter than a lot of people on YouTube these days. So let's take a look. First, I want to show you where we're at today. Now, I'm recording this on Friday morning, so this could change a lot since then. The market has sold off, let's see, about 7%, just under 7% in the last couple of weeks. And I'm seeing so many people saying that this is extreme fear category, right? CNN fear and greed index is showing extreme fear right now, which makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. We've barely had any sort of pullback, and yet it's extreme fear. What am I missing? What am I missing? You tell me. But looking at the chart right here and hearing all these people on YouTube saying now is the time to buy, it really just grinds my gears. Because let's go back. Let's take a little history lesson. Let's go back to COVID, right? During COVID, we had a 35% sell-off from the top to bottom, 35% sell-off in 21 days. That is extreme fear. But I wanted to show a couple spots on here to tell you, you would know when the dip is over. And when you know the dip is over, then you can buy and have so much less risk on the table. You can buy knowing, you know what? At least the trend is moving in my direction. You can buy knowing I'm not falling for that same old buy the dip bullcrap again, because it's burned you over and over and over. And you and I both know that you've seen so many people on YouTube saying this exact thing. It's time to buy the dip. And you're wondering yourself, is it? Is it time to buy the dip? So let's take a look. I would feel that right now is a decent analogy right here from COVID, right? This is down about 7%. And I am sure at that time right here, this is February 26, 2020, so many people were screaming at the top of their lungs, now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy, now's the time to buy. But why? Because the price is down? If the price is down, that means people don't want to own the asset. If the price is down, that means the market is telling you people don't want this anymore. It's not the market telling you, hey, I'm going down and I'm going to go right back up, so you need to buy more of me. Not at all. The market's telling you nobody wants this. And then it kept going down and down and down and down and down 35%. But I'm sure that when they were telling you to buy the dip here or here or here, that on these two candles, I bet they were saying the dip is over. I told you I am such a genius. And then what happened? It bounced for a couple of days and then right back down even worse. Now, I wanted to make this example because I think this is where we are today on the market. And I certainly wouldn't say that this is extreme fear, not even close. And I'm not calling for a crash either. What I'm saying is you don't have to buy it as it's going down. You don't have to hold it as it's going down. You can actually use the OVTLYR Trend Template to tell you when that trend is over. So right now it's a bearish trend, like you can see in COVID, like you can see today. And we mark that with the 10 exponential moving average, the 20 exponential moving average, and the 50 period exponential moving average. When the 10 is under the 20 and price is under the 50, that is a bearish trend. When the 10 is over the 20 and price is over the 50, that's a bullish trend. Now, there may be some times, like we look right here on the SPY, where it might bounce up and down a little bit. You might make a buck, you might lose a buck. But when you're in the trend for the long run, you can be in it for weeks or months at a time and know exactly which direction the market is going. So if we apply that logic here on COVID and we say, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be buying the dip. Maybe the dip just started and maybe it's nowhere close to ending. And then we look and we can see, where did the 10 over 20 price over the 50 start? It was right here on this day, April 14th. So you could have gone from February 26th to April 14th, nearly 2 entire months of no stress in the market, while these dip buyers over here are losing their hair, losing their marriages, that's losing their houses because they don't know when the dip is over, but you do. Because when you put the 10 over the 20, price over the 50, mathematically speaking, that is a bullish trend. That means price is over the last 10 days average. Price is over the last average price the last 20 days. Price is over the same price, the average price the last 50 days. All of that stacked together in your favor. And you can see it growing right there. Now, like I say, it doesn't always mean it's going to go immediately up, but look at this. To get to that same point over here, where they said the dip is over, now's the time to buy, and then the dip kept on going, versus when using the OVTLYR Trend Template, when the dip stopped and it started going back up, that was a 10% gain. So you're already up 10% when it gets to the same level as this guy, just now breaking even, just now recovering from these wounds, just now saying, whew, that was brutal. I'm glad that that's over. And you're already up 10% on the trade. This is how real trading is done. If you're listening to anybody out there and they're saying, now's the time, buy the dip, they don't know when the dip is going to end. And neither do I. I'm not saying I know when the dip is going to end, but you know how to measure when the dip is moving in one direction or another and to measure when that is done. You can see right here in COVID, you could have made 10% already, while this person is on the other end just wishing that they had this OVTLYR Trend Template. Now, a couple other things to keep in mind is market breadth. The more stocks that are getting buy signals, the more stocks that are moving up, that makes the market move up, right? The market is comprised of around 500 stocks. The S&P 500 is around 500 stocks. And if those 500 stocks are all moving up, what do you expect is going to happen to the market? The market's going to start moving up. Well, one thing that we have been seeing, and I've been talking about for a while, is market breadth had really come out. Market breadth peaked on January 27th. Market breadth peaked on January 27th, which was, circle it right here. January 27th was this candle right here. Market breadth actually peaked on that day. And then it started to come down. So it took a few days to catch up, but I wasn't at all surprised. And you can go back. All the receipts are on YouTube. I wasn't at all surprised to see it come back down. And if we look, we pull over, we can actually see the market breadth peaked on January 27th and started to come back down. But what I am seeing right now is market breadth may have been flattening out right here. It may actually have a bullish crossover. So it might actually be close to time to start looking at the market to see if the market's going to be bottoming soon. Because if more and more stocks are getting buy signals, more and more stocks are starting to go up, more and more stocks are starting to get bullish, what's going to happen to the market? The market could see the bottom and could start coming back up. So what I'm telling you here is that there is a bullish scenario I can see on the horizon. Absolutely, there's a bullish scenario I can see on the horizon. But now is not the time to be jumping off that cliff saying, this is it. The bottom is in. The bottom is in. It has to go up from here. Not at all. Market breadth is super cyclical. Every couple of weeks, it switches from bullish to bearish. And you know where to put the OVTLYR Trend Template to tell you when price is going up, because you're not going to get paid as prices are going down, right? These people who are saying the dip is over. Oh man, now I got to zoom back out. Hang on. I record these live, so give me just a moment here to scroll over. There we go. You know that these people were struggling. They were really scared. They were very nervous. They had so much fear. And you're on the other end getting greedy as could be, because while they're still fearful, you are getting greedy, seeing the market going up and up and up. Now, something else to keep in mind. This is the market breadth, but I also want you to take a look at the OVTLYR buy and sell signals. So every day we put out a list of buy signals and sell signals. And we still have a sell signal on the S&P 500 that came on February 13th. If this turns over into a buy signal, and market breadth is going up, and the market trend is starting to go up, that's what you need to see. That's what you need to see. But when the CNN Fear and Greed Index is at extreme fear, let me just give a little perspective here. We're nowhere close to extreme fear. I'm going to zoom in on the 3-month chart here, and you can see we just started tiptoeing into the fearful category on the S&P index itself. And all the constituents, all of the 500 stocks that are in the S&P 500, this is their average fear and greed score right here, is right now sitting at a 0. Basically sitting at a 0, saying they're neither fearful or greedy. So I could absolutely see this potentially being the bottom. Potentially being the bottom. But don't be misconstrued. I'm not calling for the bottom. I'm not saying buy the dip. I am saying watch for price to start turning around. If we get the market breadth going up, we get that buy signal, the trend start turning around, the 10, 20, 50 starting point north, then right there, that's your opportunity. So I hope that that was useful. YouTube is going to pop up a couple of recommended videos. I recommend you watch that, and I also recommend you subscribe, and I'll see you on next week's video.